I posted this earlier today, and it's been hanging around for a while, but it has moved pretty quickly. David Tepper, the Panthers owner, who is known for throwing a drink on a stranger and or removing, not forcibly, but still in a kind of rude and impolite way, the hat of someone at the entrance to a restaurant that dared to put up a sign that questioned the great and powerful Tepper. He wants $650 million in taxpayer money to help renovate Bank of America Stadium. They're looking toward the future that would include a new stadium. I think 2046 is the timetable for building a new stadium. But for now, $650 million in taxpayer money from the city of Charlotte in exchange for a 15-year extension of the commitment to keep both the Panthers and the MLS team that Tepper owns, Charlotte FC, in town. I just continue to be, and I think as time goes by, it's going to become more glaring. I'm intrigued by the disconnect between how the democratic political process would work and the undemocratic political process does work. If you put on a ballot box, or in a ballot box, or on a ballot, one of the three works. If you put to vote, just when in doubt, just come up with something different entirely. If you put to vote this question of $650 million in free money for a guy who's worth $20 billion, and the team is worth who knows how much, the values keep going up and up and up. If you put that on a ballot in Charlotte, it would fail. It would fail overwhelmingly. We saw it just happen in Jackson County, Missouri in April with one of the most popular teams in all of sports. Now, they can say, well, the Royals dragged this down. Regardless, you chose to get in bed with the Royals for this. You thought you were going to win. You lost resoundingly. These measures on a ballot will fail in almost every city that has an NFL team. They will fail. And they'll probably fail in any city that's trying to get the permission to spend taxpayer money on a stadium to lure an NFL team. Because a lot more of the people, and I know it's hard for football fans to accept this, a lot more people in any given city don't care about football. And the ones who do, a nice chunk of them are against the idea of giving the multi-billionaires free money for their stadiums when they could pay for it themselves. It's hard to reconcile the ongoing increase in value of franchises with gimme, 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 gimme. And the thing that I think we don't talk about enough, why do the politicians who are already elected into office just give them whatever they want when they know that their constituents wouldn't? They know. The members of the Charlotte City Council, all 11 of them, know that if this was on a ballot, it would fail. So why are you giving it to them? How do you know better than the will of your constituents? They wouldn't do it. So why are you doing it? Well, we don't want to lose the team. Well, is he really going to move? Where would he move to? Where else are they going to give him what he wants? You know, he'll go in for a meeting and he'll do the whole blowhard thing. And I don't even know that he's aware of it. I think when you get that much money, you're so used to people just, deferring to you everywhere you go. It develops your personality to the point where you have no qualms about throwing a drink on someone or pulling a hat off someone's head. And people will say, why do you mention that all the time? Because he did it. He did it. And I'm not going to be one of these that cowers in the face of money and power. I think somebody needs to be willing to point out antisocial behavior among those of us who are very accustomed to nobody ever saying anything they don't like. And if someone says something they don't like, they'll throw a drink on them or remove their hat. So anyway, it would be nice. I know it's not going to happen. Joe Person of The Athletic wrote an item today that Charlotte City Council is expected to approve the measure by a lopsided margin, even if it feels like, and this is Person's quote, it's being forced down Charlotte's collective throats. Yeah, they're moving it quickly because the longer it takes, the more chance someone like me in Charlotte is going to say, what the hell? If this was on a ballot, it would fail. Why are the people that we elected to represent us giving this guy money when we would say no? Why are you saying yes when we would say no? So it's not just Charlotte. Any place, and they're going to try to do it in Missouri now. Given that Kansas has done it, not through a ballot measure, through the elected officials who voted overwhelmingly in the House and the Senate, and the governor signed it, the effort to devote 70% of the expected cost of stadiums for the Chiefs and the Royals to lure them across the border. Now Missouri, which tried it the Democratic way, is going to do it the undemocratic way and try to force something through that would allow the politicians to ignore the will of the people. And look, I don't know that it's a political comment to say, shouldn't the politicians at some level be exercising the will of the people? This isn't some high-end policy question. It's whether or not a sports team is going to play in your town. They're going to play somewhere. Is it really going to affect your town if they leave? And how much does it help your town to have them? How much does it really help? Is it worth that money? Especially when you could say to them, and some places like Chicago and Illinois are kind of saying it, and Miami has said it in the past to Stephen Ross, pay for it yourself. What's wrong with telling people to pay for it themselves when they have that much money? And if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't buy what you can't afford. And if you can't come up with a way to pay for it, then, maybe sell some of the team at this premium that we see. Broncos 2 years ago, $4.65 billion. Commanders last year, $6.05 billion. Stephen Ross says no to a $10 billion offer to buy the Dolphins the stadium in the F1 race in Miami. The numbers keep going up and up. Sell some of the team. I saw something that the Bears aren't going to sell a minority interest in the team to raise money for a stadium. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I mean, look, think about it as it relates to the rest of us. Who helps us pay our bills? Wouldn't it be nice if we could negotiate with the IRS and the state tax department to get some help to, I really like to buy a new house and I'll be paying taxes on the money that I make. If I live here, I could move to a new state, but you could help me pay for my house and I'll stay here and I'll keep paying you my taxes. It's ludicrous when you think of it that way, but that's really what they're doing. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, no politician wants to be in a position where he or she would be blamed for a team moving, because that's the thing. They'll never find a way to use it against you that you voted in favor of the team staying. But if you cast a vote on a city council, county commission, or a legislature that results in the team leaving, you're never going to live that down. And I think that's the fear. It's all fear-based by the politicians. They'd rather deal with the consequences of diverting the money against the will of the people than the consequences of being attached to this failure of a team leaving. God forbid a team would leave. We're no longer a major league city. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.